Hello, welcome to Business News. I am Frank Homalapeni. Here are some of the report we're filing now. The website of the upcoming Central Bank of Nigeria's digital currency, the E-Naira, has gone live a week to the planned launch of the project. Surprisingly, the website has recorded over 1 million hits since it went live 24 hours ago, according to statistics gathered. According to the Central Bank of Nigeria, the website offers easier financial transactions for user of E-Naira, an opportunity for peer-to-peer payment. It also allows customers to transfer money and monitor the transactions from their bank account to their E-Naira wallet with ease using QR codes. CBN Governor Mr. Godwin Emefiele, while speaking to a gathering of foreign investors in New York, said due to the country's independence celebration, the launching of the E-Naira earlier scheduled for the same day will likely be rescheduled to October 4, 2021 in order not to take the shine away from the independence celebration. And in the meantime, few days to the official launch of the central bank digital currency E-Naira in partnership with Bit Inc., Nigerians are anxiously waiting to experience a new banking product touted to be a game changer on the local business landscape. According to records, 85% of the central banks globally are working dedicatedly on their digital currencies by gradually weaning themselves off rapidly declining cash payments. And this forms the reason the Central Bank of Nigeria joined the fray so that Nigeria is not left in the lurch. According to the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, the E-Naira, among others, seeks to help it achieve the IPS Bank's monetary policy and financial inclusion objectives. It also expected to increase the exchange of currency and facilitate cross-border trade at a lower cost, especially when more countries unveil their own digital currencies. Now, the Nigerian government has introduced a 2% annual increase on price-based royalty for crude oil and condensate in the controversial Petroleum Industry Act (PIA). According to the PIA, additional price-based royalty shall apply to crude oil and condensate, which crystallizes only when crude oil prices exceed $50, $100, shall attract 5%, and above 150 shall attract 10% respectively. The rate applied to the 2020 fiscal year and shall be increased by 2% yearly as provided in the PIA. The PIA, which touts or tortuous journey into becoming a law started in 2007 rather, targets the revamp of the oil and gas sector by ensuring optimal levels of transparency and accountability through a strengthening of governance institutions and attracting the much-needed capital with changes to the administrative, fiscal and regulatory framework was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in August this year. And in the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has said Nigeria needs over $400 billion to fund its critical energy needs. Buhari said that $300 billion would be needed for electricity generation, transmission and distribution infrastructure, while $116 billion will fund buildings, industry and transport facilities. The report also said Buhari did not include a time frame for spending plan, but said Nigeria will need support from developed nations to bridge the funding gap. An amount Buhari said exceed Nigeria's energy budget for next year or for the next 30 years. Buhari will address the United Nations General Assembly on Thursday under pressure to show how Nigeria will ultimately transition away from fossil fuels, the report said. And on the African scene, our investments of about $280 billion, that's about 4.1 trillion rands, will be needed to cope with the effects of climate change in 35 cities in South Africa, Kenya and Ethiopia by 2050, according to a report. Africa is the fastest urbanizing continent and also the hardest hit by global warming. The Coalition for Urban Transitions, which advises governments on economic development and climate change, said in a report released Monday, in recent years, unusually strong cyclones have struck the continent's southeast coast. Droughts have also patched southern Africa, and floods and landslides have plagued the Horn of Africa. Cape Town, South Africa's second largest city, almost ran out of water in 2018, according to a report. South Africa will need $215 billion in investment in its city. Kenya, $27 billion, and Ethiopia, $42 billion, according to that same report. Kenyans are grappling with an expensive breakfast after processors raised the price of milk just days after the cost of sugar went up, a move likely to spark inflation. All processors have increased the cost of milk by between 3 shillings and 5 shillings for both fresh and long-life brands, citing high producers' prices and the market. Consumers are now buying a 500 milligram packet of milk and 60 shillings from 55 shillings previously for long live and 55 shillings for fresh time following the new adjustment by processors. Kenya's year-on-year inflation rate inched up to 6.57% in August from 6.55% a month earlier on the back of an increase in cost of food. The increment comes just days after the cost of sugar went up by 30 shillings for a 2-kilogram packet in retail shops in what the state has attributed to interruptions at the mills. And on the foreign scene now, Asian stocks fluctuated Monday as investors weighed the implications of surging energy prices and risk from China. Shares in Shanghai declined as materials stock dropped, and worries that power curves are hurting manufacturing U.S. futures climbed. The S&P 500 edged up on Friday to eke out of the first weekly gain in 3 commodities such as iron ore and commodity-linked currencies like the Australian dollar jammed. And on the oil market now, prices rose for a 5th straight day on Monday, with Brent heading for $80 amid supply concerns as part of the world seeks demand pickup with the easing of pandemic conditions. Brent crude was of $1.14 or about 1.5% at $79.23 a barrel in early trade, having risen a 3rd consecutive week through Friday. U.S. oil added $1.11 or about 1.5% to $75.09, its highest since July after rising for a 5th straight week last week. Caught short by the demand rebound, members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and their allies, known as OPEC+, have had difficulty raising output as underinvestment or maintenance delays persist from the pandemic. Well, and that's much we have for your business news at this hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. It's back to you now.